All right, guys, we're with Mike and Dennis. We're in, where are we, by the way, guys?
We're in Comac.
Comac?
Comac, New York.
New York. Not New Jersey, guys. New York.
Long Island.
Long Island. I've never actually explored Long Island until today. This is seriously. And all I know of Long Island is traffic.
Yeah.
All there is traffic. And whoever the hell I don't know who the hell wants to drive all the way to New York City in the middle of rush hour. They're absolutely nuts. Don't do it, right?
Especially the day after the first snow.
The first snow, right. So we got some pancakes. This is the Premier Diner. It's a nice little festive spot. If you guys ever come here, I've been here twice now. And it actually reminds me a lot of my friend Nick. My friend Nick died of cancer. And he took me to one of these places. And I remember getting this waffle with ice cream on top. It is great because it's kind of like a dessert, but on breakfast, yeah.
Sure.
But guys, later we're gonna have a cool collection for you guys. Dennis has been collecting for how many years approximately for Magic?
Since 94, 25 years.
Yeah. But you also been collecting all your life. You have a Three Stooges set, right?
Stooges set, yeah.
You still have.
Still have.
Yeah, that's from the 1950s.
50s.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah.
So pause the video, look up Three Stooges. What are their names? Larry, Moe, and Curly. There you right? Is that right?
Yep.
There it is. Three Stooges. Not the Three Musketeers. And then Mike, obviously, kind of started playing because of the influence of his dad. So we're gonna have some great stories here. But first, we get fat and eat. We'll talk to you guys in a second.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.
Yes, this place. This is kind of cool. So, at the house, there's this package butler. But, Dad, you're saying that it doesn't work because the mailman actually has to put the mail in there, right?
That's right.
And then if they don't put the mail in this thing, then it doesn't really matter.
He must have been out here all night. It had snow on it.
It's an interesting device. While we're looking at Magic collections. Hilarious. All right, guys, welcome back. Look at this beautiful snow in Long Island. It is not snowing where I'm at. I'm hoping it will snow because, well, I like being home. And I like snow. I like snowman. All right, guys, so we're back with Dennis. Hey, Dennis.
Hi.
All right, we're back in the home of Mike and in Dennis's collection. Look at this, guys. These are some serious binders. And you organize these pretty seriously, huh?
Yes. The presentation to me was a lot of it, so because I like to look at them, so I wanted to have them in binders so I could see the whole set. I have some of the wrappers and other things around it, and all of the sets are separated with a piece of plexiglass to keep everything flat.
Plexiglass. Oh, wow.
Right there, see?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Literally. Okay.
Literally. So.
And so everything has a name, kind of a range. So let's start with the alpha and old stuff, and let's show this plexiglass and wrapper configuration. Oh, wow.
So this is one of the original alpha booster boxes, I guess.
Or starter decks.
Starter decks.
Wow, that's so cool.
And
did you start out this plexiglass method in the very beginning? Was this the original method?
once I got a few binders, it was some way to keep them separate so I could go to one set quickly without folding all the pages.
Right.
So it lets you pick up the whole thing, and it just keeps it flat.
Yeah.
In fact,
And you have the D-ring binder, thank God.
D-ring binder.
Because that would be the binder ding issue.
And my son started putting some of his sets in binders recently, and he had me make some of these for him because he says you can't buy them on Amazon.
All right, that's great.
This is the alpha set.
So this is when you were starting to collect. Now, when did you start with Magic?
Probably started around the early 90s, maybe 93, 94, right around the time that 4th edition had come out, because my kids had started playing it. And so I bought a few boxes of the cards to get a 4th edition set, to pull enough cards together to be able to make a deck out of them and let my kids show me how to play. And then once I had all these cards, I decided I might as well complete the set, because to me having the set is kind of a fun thing. And it went from there. Once I had the 4th edition, I worked my way back and I got some alpha and betas, but then as the sets kept coming out, I was just getting complete sets as I buy enough cards to make the... I buy a box of cards.
The booster box.
Booster box. And then you pretty much could get almost the whole set out of that, and I'd pick up the individual ones that were missing.
Yeah, how were you introduced to Magic? Like, did you go to a card store? Were you a comic book store?
My kids started playing it. They showed me the
really?
game. I liked the art.
So they were playing with the alpha beta?
We never played with the alpha beta because, first of all, when 4th edition was the one they were playing with, or maybe I think revised, that's all I thought there was. I didn't realize they'd keep coming out with sets, but then as I started investigating, figuring out, I realized there had been an alpha and a beta first.
Wow.
And Unlimited, I guess, was also called 3rd edition.
Yeah.
And so you could still find a few of these, you know, around. You could go to card stores or whatever. Then so I started picking a few up, but I really didn't do much with the older cards.
Right.
I just kept building sets as new ones would come out and complete the sets and go forward. But then once the kids got to college, they went off, they weren't playing anymore. I kind of decided I'm not going to keep building sets. 'Cause they were coming out 3 or 4 a year, and I thought, you know, there's no point. So then I went back and started filling in the ones I didn't have, which were the only sets I never completed were alpha and beta.
Right.
So I'd start filling them in, and by the time I sort of, say, lost interest in doing it, because other things had come along, I had about a little over half of the alphas and maybe 2/3 or 3/4 of the betas.
Yeah. So to kind of clarify, your kids played in 4th edition,
right?
But you were always a collector of different things,
right?
And that inspired you to collect the beginning stuff.
My interest was more in collecting the cards than playing it. I'm not a great strategist. I never played the game well, but I could have fun with it. But I liked having the binders and the complete sets.
Right.
When I was...
oh, by the way, this is your wife. Hi.
This is my wife, Gloria.
Hi, Gloria. Gloria, by the way, what do you think about his organizational abilities?
You mean the OC? Yeah.
Were you a Magic fan at all? Or Magic collector?
I could kill us.
Okay, well that's fair. I always ask the wives too, because some of them most responses are like that. They rather go shopping, other things.
I'm not a collector.
You're not a collector in general, right?
Not at all.
That's my wife is the same way. She doesn't collect anything.
I feel good when I get rid of stuff. That's how I feel. So
Get rid of it.
I feel good.
Get rid of it.
That's not the way I look at it, but...
See, you know what's funny about it is people have changed over the years. Collecting sets and things like that are gone.
Well, another thing I did with my kids is we used to go looking for minerals. We'd go to quarries and we would collect the rocks and minerals. And we had collections of the rocks. Michael has a display case downstairs now with some of his favorite different crystals and things we would find. And I actually have a display case of all the minerals because it was, you know, if you don't see it, it's no point in having it. So I like having them out in the open where I could see them. Another thing I did when I was a kid is I'd find that you could get coins and change that weren't being made anymore, like Buffalo Head nickels and stuff.
Huh.
So I started collecting old coins. So to me, the collection was really the game.
What was your father the one that inspired you, or
no? This is just.
It was only you.
Just because my father worked 3rd shift, so he slept during the day and worked at night. So basically,
it was you.
I just kept myself busy.
Did you collect like Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth cards?
I had a lot of baseball cards, but baseball cards seemed endless. There were always many cards, many teams, and it wasn't. I didn't have the same concept of a set of them as I did with some of the other ones. Completion of a set wasn't something you could easily do with baseball cards. I did complete one set of cards when I was in middle school, and that was Three Stooges cards.
Yeah.
And you would buy these cards, like baseball cards. They'd come with a stick of bubble gum that was the size of the card. And you'd open up, you'd buy it for the gum, but the cards came with it.
The gum was good?
The gum was, it's gum.
That's good. Did you collect comic books also?
I collected comic books too. Unfortunately, with a lot of things, if you don't have the concept that they're going to be worth something to somebody someday, they end up disappearing. I still have some comic books, like, you know, from the late 40s and early 50s, you know. I think one was called Super Mouse, which is like a Mighty Mouse, and some other things. Some of the really old Donald Duck and some of the Walt Disney comics.
Original ones, yeah.
The original ones, but not many. You know, I got about 10 of the old comic books.
But you were more into coins and stamps?
I had stamps too, coins.
Yeah.
Anything where, stamps not so much, because stamps, like baseball cards,
Endless.
endless number of them.
Yeah.
But things like coins, there was so many a year, they had the dates on them, and when that type of coin was done, you knew it.
Yeah. The baseball cards, though, there was only one set back in the day, right? Or no, one or two? Bowman and Topps. But it seemed like there was just too many players.
Every year there'd be a lot of cards and a lot of players.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean,
were you in sports also, or?
But I played baseball a little bit.
Okay.
I was more into like track and other things. So the cards were, because my friends had them, we all collected them together. We trade them. Yeah. But you don't play baseball cards like you play Magic cards.
So you saw like 52 Topps Mickey Mantles back in the day, the old Mickey Mantles?
I may have seen the Mickey Mantles, but it didn't register as anything special.
Special to you that time.
You know?
Okay. All right. Let's continue on to this. All right. So let's take a look at some of these other cards. So come over here real quick. What are some of your favorite cards, you know, back in the day? Have any particular ones that you see here as we're going by? Images wise, have you, you know, because you're a collector, you know, you're not really.
I like the cards with the creatures, and you know, a lot of the swamp cards, the black cards had, you know, kind of interesting art to them.
Yeah, everybody has their favorite color. So, like for example, this card here, Icy Manipulator, is signed by the artist Doug Schuler.
Yes,
that's an older signature. So what happened was, this little part says Doug, D-O-U-G. He actually doesn't do that anymore. He only just does the D and this stuff. So that's a classic tell. The artist has evolved their signature over time. Remember that blue hurricane for Summer Magic I was telling you?
Yeah.
How this is green border?
Yep.
That's what it should look like,
right.
Green, yeah. Yeah, guys, there's supposedly a Summer Magic card that he has. Mike actually got. This one's kind of cool. I've always liked this guy. Look how tiny his legs are.
Yeah.
See that? Big muscles, tiny little legs.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah, so what you have here is you have some rares, definitely. You have a lot of the commons and uncommons. The lightning bolt, that's probably the most famous image.
Yeah. These older sets, you really didn't know what was rare or uncommon unless you looked it up. But like, for example, I like the Lord of the Pit was always one of my favorites.
So you would buy this from, you were saying, like magazines. They would have like Troll and Toad or other vendors.
Yep.
And you would how would you order these?
Well, you fill out an order list from the magazine and mail it in with a check, and you'd get your card in a week or two.
It was just a check, and you check marked how many you wanted, or like, let's say you want to Lord of the Pit.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
And then hope to God it just happens.
Well, I mean, it would always happen. If they weren't in stock, they'd tell you.
So there was no fraud, nothing. There was never like condition problems, nothing.
Well, if you dealt with,
you know, I'm just asking because
if you dealt with companies that were pretty popular, you saw them in the magazines, you know, they were probably pretty good.
Got it. Okay.
The condition was, you never knew what you were going to get, but they were,
oh, really? Wild West on that.
Yeah, because they didn't really give a grade. They might say played or unplayed. That'd be the limit.
Okay. There's a Tim card. Remember that?
Yep.
The guy's Tim.
Yeah.
It looks like a Little sorcerer dude. Do you have any favorite sets at all? Is Alpha your favorite, or is it not as flavorful as some of the other Arabian Nights coming up here?
Well, I like the Arabian Nights. It was a small set. It had some interesting cards in it. I really like the Unlimited set because it was basically beta.
It's complete.
It's complete, so I had the whole set. So that's probably my favorite set.
Does it bug you that this is not complete?
It does.
Does it?
If the problem now is a lot of these cards, if people even list them on their site, they'll say unavailable.
Well,
you just can't get them.
No, these are available. They're just going to cost a lot now.
Right. But the ones that I don't have, and besides, I probably wouldn't be buying all the Moxes and everything else.
Are you retired now?
Yes.
Yeah. So in a way, you don't want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on Magic cards.
That's not going to happen.
That's not prudent, right? Yeah. All right. So that's the Alpha. And look at this, guys. That is plexiglass, and that is a beta booster pack. Did you open this pack or no?
You actually could buy the packs, the empty packs from vendors. They charge you like $1 or something.
Oh.
So the ones that I didn't open, because I never had
I like this. This is very nice quality. Yeah. So yeah, this Ankh is very played. See that?
Yep.
So you must have got one that was played.
Right.
There's some
but
nicer
then you
ones.
look at like some of these, and they look in pretty good shape.
So you didn't open any of these?
Not Alpha or Beta.
Yeah. Unlimited, you did.
Unlimited, I might have.
This one's really played. This one's what I call damaged.
Right. Right.
I see. This is about 70. So no Power 9, no dual lands in the Alpha and Beta, but still super cool.
That's the copper tablet you were talking about.
Yeah, so this card I was talking about an ATOG deck for 2 mana. So you want to stick around the 2 mana ones. So you have the Anka Mishra. So that's 2 mana.
Yep.
So it allows you to ramp up and really cause some damage to them quickly. And then Black Vice is another one. Remember I was telling you?
Yep.
So the ATOG deck also plays Black Vice to force the person to use cards. If they don't use cards, if they don't use cards, they're in trouble from the Black Vice. And if they use cards, they have to put land.
Yep.
They can take so every way they're always taking damage, and every way they think about it. And the only card to remove artifacts that's efficient is this card called Disenchant, which is over here, right here.
Yep.
At instant speed. Has some really nice
Dragon
cards.
Whelp was also one of my favorites because I liked the art.
Yeah. My friend Dan, he likes this card. Dwarven Demolition Team. Underplayed, not used much because the walls were never effective. But I always thought walls are cool. Yeah, this one's definitely a lot more complete. This one, so you never got to the Power 9. Tell me about that. The duels and the Power 9, were they just too expensive at the time?
They were expensive, and it was sort of toward the end of when I was putting together the Magic sets, so I, just sort of lost interest, I guess, in completing the set.
Right, budget-wise and everything.
Budget-wise and everything else.
You never thought about buying more than one of each card, right? Do you have extras?
Because,
you have no extras.
Well, I do have others. I do have duplicates on some of these.
Oh, in boxes?
In boxes.
At home or whatever?
Well, they're here.
Oh, okay.
But for this set, the idea was to show what I had. I didn't need to show more than maybe 1 or 2 of these. There might be one in the back. Because sometimes I would just slide a duplicate in the back.
Yep. Very complete overall, just no power.
Right. As I said, there were probably maybe 30 that I was missing out of the whole set.
30?
Yeah. Which is going to be most of the really rare ones.
Yeah, probably. This is one of Mike's favorites. Personal Incarnation. Yeah, some really cool artwork.
There's this guy
Tim
again
guy.
in beta.
Yep, there's Tim. And there's that Rotteruna I was telling you about. I made a Fungosaur deck, guys, an Alpha 40 Fungosaur deck. It's kind of interesting. I'll show you guys later. How was the websites back in the day? Were they okay?
They were okay.
Just started out internet.
Yeah.
Do you buy online securely, or was it not more for show?
Don't remember ever buying anything online.
Oh.
I think it was more to tell you what was in stock.
And then make a call.
And then make a call or send in a letter.
Ah, I see. So snail mail.
Snail mail
still the
and
thing.
checks. It's still the thing. I don't think I ever bought a card with a credit card.
Oh, here's a dual
online.
land. There you go.
Oh yeah. How about that?
Yeah, this is actually worth a lot for what it is. It's like $3,000 for this condition, 2,500.
Really?
Yeah, because it's all more played, but
Who knew?
right. Well, it's at least $2,000 or so.
Yep.
But that's what you want. You want these double lands. So what happens is this taps for blue and red.
Yep.
So it's an island and a mountain.
Right.
And that's very efficient, obviously, because if you're casting spells, you have options. Yeah, if you have more of those, that would really make the value jump. All right, very good. We're going to cut this video off. Go to the unlimited set. All right, guys, look at this. This is Dennis's cheat sheet. And what you have here is on, you have the alpha set, for example. When it was released,
Yep.
How many cards?
The border.
Black border, 184 cards, what he has. So the beta, yeah, he's pretty close. Wow. Geez, this is actually taped on there.
Well,
Some serious.
you can do a lot with tape.
So you're like, your background was in technology?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you really have like I have a mechanical engineering background, so I think it kind of fits that mold of organization.
Right.
I've always been the same way too, like condition matters or handling or the organization. Whereas, like your wife, my wife just doesn't collect anything.
Hey, Michael, we had a dual land in beta. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, volcanic.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, Mike's back. Good job.
Hello.
No more kids screaming.
No more screaming kids.
I got unlimited. All right.
This is the fun set.
All right. I'll let you. So what was so fun about this set?
Well, this set was fun because it was the oldest complete set I had, and it had all of the famous cards in it.
Did it bug you that it's white border?
No.
Or do you like white border?
Didn't matter at all.
Okay.
In fact, I think it made some of them stand out better.
I agree with you.
So these are the,
I really like unlimited. There's the Black Lotus. There it is. It's all about the Black Lotus.
Yep.
Back when you're collecting and all that, I mean, Black Lotus, did that come up as the card back in the day?
Yes. In fact, that's why I have a little picture of it on the back here. That was sort of like my...
oh, here it is.
That's my inspiration card.
There you go, guys. Is CCG Zone... I have to look that up here in a minute. Have you guys looked? Are they still in business?
I haven't looked.
Okay, we'll have to look. ccgzone.com. Where are they out of?
I have no idea.
Just buy
20 years ago.
Yeah, Unlimited is kind of like one of my favorites, but yeah, people like Black Border for some reason, but I think it's beautiful. I think some of the colors really pop out.
Right. Like these, that gets lost with the black border.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, what Dennis and Mike are trying to figure out is, are we going to sell this as a set? We might do some grading here. Are we going to sell just some of the key cards? Yeah, one of my favorite cards. Uncastable sometimes, but still cool card. 8/8 for 6. 6 mana. Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. So, when you do these evaluations on collections, the first question to ask is, do you need the money? And Dennis doesn't need that. He's already retiring well. So now he's going to figure out, do I want to pass anything to the kids, right? What's the next step there? That's kind of the question we're going to have to figure out and determine. It's almost like an antique road show. You're going to have to figure that out, and maybe we'll have to answer that question later. All right, so I'll skip a little bit to the power here. Let's see, the time twister, the T's.
Did you want to look at the Moxes?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's going to be like, well, Dan, how could you? Yeah, so the jet is signed. There it is. That's an authentic signature. All right. Have you seen the original artwork for these at all? Any of the magic art?
No.
I should have brought some for you guys. I collect them, and I also, sold them. They're absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. In fact, your walls need some magic art. So I recommend.
Based on actual paintings, right?
Yeah. These are actual paintings. Yeah, the paintings themselves are worth millions of dollars now.
Really?
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, the Black Lotus, for example, I owned it in 2012 or 13. I sold it for about $200,000, and now the guy wants $6.5 million for it. Cheap.
Wow.
Yeah, and I should have just kept it.
Yeah, you should have said on that one.
Yeah, but this stuff I've made, and it's just the way it is. I mean, he's not getting 6.5. His best offer is around $4 million. That's what I was told. This artwork was lost.
Really?
Yeah, they can't find it.
That's in a lot of sets.
Yeah. This one's actually a famous one, Stasis. Faye Jones is Richard Garfield, the creator of the game's aunt.
Really?
And
She
she's
did the
the
painting.
only painting she's ever done ever. And her painting kind of depicts her style of kind of a, I think it's surrealism or some kind of type of art where basically you basically, it's kind of modern in a way.
Yep.
It stands out compared to the other.
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, and that's what's so crazy about all the art is that they were all different. That's why if I showed you some of it, next time I'll come by, I'll show you some art. Jeff Mingus actually lives on Long Island.
Really?
Yeah, he said he might want to hang out and say hi for dinner on tomorrow or something. All right, Tiger, I always like this one. There's a time vault. I always like time vault. That's cool. And Amy Weber had a very unique style. Look at that. That is very different.
That's surreal.
I actually own a third. So me and two other investors own that piece. So I own a third of it. We it's kind of like real estate.
You take turns hanging it up in the house?
No, it's just a bank vault.
Yeah, you're not going to hang that up in the living room.
Well,
Open a soda and have it go spraying.
there's another one.
Go get that.
The Underground Sea. I think this looks beautiful and unlimited. I actually owned half of that one. Me and another.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my favorite of the duelists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that's
gorgeous.
Right.
I mean, I wish I could. I should have brought it. That would have. Then you like the Vesuvian doppelganger just like me.
Yeah.
This one, some guy has it, and I actually own the original sketch for that. Yeah, that's my favorite magic piece. Also, one of my favorite magic pieces. So there's a lot of passion for the art. This piece actually, Will-O-Wisp, looks a lot more green, and the covers are more vibrant, green and stuff than this bluish, darkish haze.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful, actually. It's more of a beautiful painting than it looks because they made it more of a dark card. But that's what they do. They color correct some of this stuff. This is considered Jesper's, the original art director's, I think, most hated painting.
Really?
It's just black blob with two eyes.
2 eyes in it.
It's like, there's a story behind it. I forgot the exact one. This one I used to own too. Wrath of God by Quinn Hoover. Super detailed. Look at that.
Yeah.
Really great artwork. This was amazing artwork. He passed away. He was the first Magic artist to pass away. All right, guys, that's the Unlimited set. And we're going to go through some other stuff here in a second. Side note, guys, we have a little bit of a question here for you guys. This Fireball here is a classic 4th edition Fireball, 95 copyright. But can someone help me find out where this 94 copyright is? And the reason why is because Dennis sent an email to Wizards back in the day, and he said that the 94 here is a Summer Magic, but it's not, because that's not Summer Magic. It doesn't have the Wizards of the Coast all rights reserved. That's why. And I know that because I sell a lot of these. So if you guys can find out, let me know. Thank you. In the comments below. All right, so this is the first expansion of Magic, the Arabian Nights. To many people, the most favorite set of them all, right? Actually, the easiest set to make, was it?
It was a relatively small set.
Yeah. And the condition of these tend to be decently okay. The Bazaar is decent. City's a little off. The City of the Bottle, a little bit played. But yeah, this is a really great flavored set. I think it's like 90. It's 95 cards or 93, something like that. If you have all the variants. Do you have all the variants?
There's 78 cards.
There's also a variation one. Did you know that?
Which ones?
Yeah. I just don't have them on the top of my head, but there's a bunch. Let me just go to the most obvious one. Like, I think like Desert Nomad. So it's just like the symbol would change to like this has a variant. So there's a dark and a light version.
Is that why you have it on the back?
No.
Yeah, you do. You do have
two
that.
of them.
Okay, so maybe you do have more than some.
No, I think that was just because I had 2 of them.
Oh, okay. This one has a variant. Yeah, you do. So this is the dark symbol.
Oh.
Right?
Yep.
Here's the light.
Yep.
Maybe you do. Yeah. So we'll go back to that here, guys. I don't remember the exact count, but I think it's 78, but there's also variants too on top of that. Additional variants. So the library looks okay. A little played. Juzam is definitely nicely played, as it should be. That card is a beatdown card for old school. Yeah, so what I'm looking at here is there's a thing called reserve lists. Arabian Nights had a lot of reserve list cards, so they're cards that were promised never to be reprinted again. So you may that was something that was very special about Arabian Nights. There's a lot of those. Yeah, so you have a lot of different variations. I think you did. Like this, actually, the Stone Throwing Devils, for example, has a variation. You only have one.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird. Like you have the set, but you have some. You have some. Yeah, which is not necessarily like a bad thing. Yeah, it's just that's what's going on there. Antiquities. There it is. All right, perfect. This one's pretty much one card or bust. Oh no, Candelabras now worth something. And then the Mishra stuff, the M words. This one set's pretty clean overall. You got the good old fact. These cards are super useful in old school. So they as a defender, it can be a pump blocker and become a 3/3. So you have a mana and Mishra's Factory. What happens is you use the mana to activate it to a factory. Then it can then tap itself to give it +1/+1. So it becomes a 2/2 by the activation, but it becomes a 3/3 if you block. It's very powerful. So it's a nice, it's heavily used to win games all the time, old school.
Is there any story with the art in this set? I was always struck by it in particular.
I'm not familiar with the lore, but I think it's the battle between Urza and something else. So hence you have a lot of Urza, like right here, Urza,
The factory.
Urza power plant.
Yep.
Urza's, yeah. So you have Urza, and then there's another guy that's involved too. I just don't know the name.
Gotcha.
Yeah, might want to look it up, but it's on Wikipedia, on the Magic Wikipedia. Definitely Urza. He has a mitre also, and a chalice. It's kind of like God, basically. Something's going on there. Yeah, Urza's pretty well known. Yeah, this is a great set. It's a 100-card set. This card used to be very valuable. Argivian Archaeologist. Really cool card. All right, let's look at the Legends set. That's the last one we'll look for this one. Awesome. All right, so this is the revised set. We're not going to go to much of this, but there's dual lands. Much more faded than the 4th edition. A lot of people complained about this set. And, well, this had the pentagram. Look at that, guys. Demonic Tutor. One of the most iconic cards ever. So Force of Nature, your Unlimited's way nicer. Revised, But this is a set I grew up with. This is a set that I like the most. There's another card here I like is Savannah Lions. Where is it? It's a little bit... There she is. So I own that original painting. Very iconic. And it's one white for 2/1. If you allow this thing to hit you a bunch of times, it can get you down pretty quick. And this is the iconic card. There you go. Soul Ring. I brought an alpha and a beta one for you. All right. All right. So, oh, look at that Underground Sea. See? The unlimited version is way nicer. Look at that. See? It's just not the same, huh?
Yeah.
So different. All right, so next we have Legends. This is one of the most iconic sets. I think it's like 310 cards, something like that.
It's like
310.
310. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's a card that's important, the Abyss. So notice what it does. It's an enchant world. I mean, there can only be one enchant world. All players must bury one target non-artifact creature under their control during their upkeep. So that means that as long as it's not an artifact creature, creatures start dying. So what you do is you build a deck that is involving artifact creatures in the Abyss. Everybody else doesn't get creatures, but you do. It's a great card. Very heavily used. So this Legends set has some nice quality overall. One of the hardest sets to achieve. This one you had the Italian Legends version.
Yeah, just for some reason I had that.
Notice the quality of saturation was a lot different. See that? And then how dark this is. I like the Italian one better. Yeah. Lots of cool Legends creatures.
Oh, here's another Italian one. I must have had a Legends pack in Italian.
Yeah. All Hallows Eve. Yep. Yeah, I've always loved the Legends set. It has a lot of cool flavor. Another burn spell like a lightning bolt, but sorcery speed. It's only on your turn, but you can bounce it back. It's like this card's valuable. Chains of Mephistopheles. Really annoying. Every time a player draws a card, that player must then discard a card from his hand. If this is the part that really sucks. If there are no cards in the player's hand, take the top card from the library and place it in the graveyard. Terrible enchantment for people that like control decks. All right. So Legends is a great supplement set for old school Magic decks. And there's so many powerful cards. Reserve list cards like Eureka, fun card. Basically, sorcery speed. Both players can now back and forth, put their permanents out on play without casting them. But what you do is your hand is stacked with like Shivan Dragon and stuff. You just put them out and not cast. You don't have to pay any casting costs.
Wow.
You can kill them because of this card. Yeah, Eureka. It's like both players may take their permanent in their hand and put it directly to play. They take turns back and forth. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah. So you just pick big creatures the whole time. It's called a Eureka deck. Yeah. Let's see. These are interesting cards. I'll see. I have that painting. It's a good EDH commander card. Hazam Tamar.
Oh, I also have that one in Italian.
A lot of different ones. This one's kind of interesting. Harold McNeil. He's known to be a Nazi. And has darker art. Very interesting card also. Caracas, very famous. Used to be worth a lot more. Gone down a lot, but its other effect, return target legend to owner's hand. So you can bounce back people's legends. Very powerful in Commander. Okay. Some Lands Tax, very famous. Lands Edge combo. There's lots of iconic cards. This is the most famous card ever. Mana Drain, the best counter spell ever made. You not only counter their spell, but you also get the mana of the casting cost in your next upkeep, your next phase. Your next main phase, which is absolutely crazy. Moat, super iconic. All non-flying creatures cannot attack. So you just make a flying deck. This deck card's super powerful. Mirrored Universe is really cool. 6 mana. You sacrifice it and switch the life total of each other. So you basically what you do is you damage yourself, put that on play, switch them, and then lightning bolt them.
Wow.
It's a combo deck. Because you can use that in, I'll show you here in a minute with a synergy. This is Nether Void, another iconic card. Sylvan Library is the card to look at. Show you. Reset. This is a famous Magic card. Recall. Yeah. Very powerful. You can bring back cards from your graveyard by trading cards from your hand, which pretty much will end the game because you can bring back counter spells, removal spells, whatever. That's great for control players. Here it is, Sylvan Library. So, look at this card. You may draw 2 extra cards during your draw phase. Then either put 2 of the cards down, drawn back, but every card you take extra, you lose 4 life. So, you draw 3 cards, you get to keep 1 with no penalty. But if you keep all of them, you lose 8 life. So, with Eureka decks, you're just trying to take... Or not Eureka decks, but I'm sorry, Mirror Universe deck. You just take the cards you need, right? Accelerate, beat yourself up, get me the first to put Mirror Universe down, then that's it. Yeah, this card is the most valuable card in the set. Tabernacle. It's almost $2 grand, depending on the condition, because it's used in a deck called Lands. All creatures are now required to pay 1 mana additional, or they're destroyed in their upkeep. You have an Italian.
An Italian one too.
That's cool.
This card seriously disturbed me as a kid.
Oh, it is weird. Like, why? Tagamot. Yeah, so this is really cool. You have a lot of great history here. Then you have the walls that don't do anything, unfortunately. The walls were never... These walls can't attack. And then you have... That's about it there. And the dark. We won't get into the dark. It's a 100-card set, but really it's 1 card wonder. It's this card, Blood Moon. Super powerful. Used in Modern now also.
That one looks in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and then you have Ball Lightning, which is iconic. All right, so we're going to look at some other stuff here. Thanks again for looking at this set with us.
That's how to play Magic.
A VHS, wow. How to play Magic. This is an instructional video back in the day.
Right, Magic the Gathering.
Do you have a VHS player?
I don't.
We're not even able to watch it.
Too bad we can't play it.
Yeah, I know.
I have one at home that might still work, but
Do you see you went to Europe and also saw Magic back in the day too? Yeah, it was
they
your
had
thing.
cards, and they were selling the same things in Europe. This is an Italian one, this is the English one, and this is the German one. Same set.
So was this kind of like your hobby also? Just the wife kind of, is you're spending money?
Sure,
So
it's
you
just
wanted
something
to do. Yeah, you wanted to do.
But
Did you
anyway,
have affinity towards the like kind of the weird quirks about it, or because you didn't really play as much, you used like the history?
It
and
was the collecting the sets, the history,
The different things.
artwork, you know,
Yeah.
the beauty of it, really.
So show me this little binder. I like this binder, the one with all the crazy stuff, the different stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll get on video. So this is kind of interesting. It's like a little oddities binder.
Right. This is basically how sets, the cards changed over the sets. And it's really, you know, the borders and stuff, but it's the same card. And you can see that by here they added the tap symbol, which they didn't have before.
God, revises. Look at that. Ugh.
I know, look at the difference in the color.
Look at the quality. Beautiful over there.
Right. And then this is the Stone Rain, same
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
only starting from alpha, beta, unlimited, revised.
This is collector's edition.
If you look on the back, it's got a
International. Yeah.
international edition.
Yeah, so if you happen to have one of those sets, those are about 10 to 12 grand.
Really?
Yeah, so those ones back in the day were $49.99.
Huh.
So if you just would have bought like 20 of those, that would have
Yeah,
been,
if only.
what is that? That's a lot.
And this is like, then they started with
20 of
foils.
that would be 200 grand.
Right. Yeah. And then,
That would have been the better investment, by the way.
right.
Yeah. If you were to-
Who knew?
Now, I guess, right?
Then the picture changed. But then they kept changing them after that to all, you know, each of the versions.
Some weird pictures. Yeah.
Weird pictures.
Yeah, but they're basing it off the theme of the set. Yeah.
Right. And then they pretty much stuck with this one here by 8th edition.
Oh, this is the last time they did whiteboard, I think.
Yeah.
And then they went back. You got some giant cards for me?
Yeah.
Oh, this is-
well,
oh, the
these
Arena
are promotional
cards?
cards. I'm
Yep.
not sure what these are, but they have the artist pen
Yep.
and whatever this symbol is.
Promo cards, yep.
And then these are the oddball cards, like the missing expansion
Everybody thinks
symbol.
that's beta, but it's not.
Right.
Yeah. Serendib.
Green border with the blue cost, wrong picture used.
So you just started doing this as just history.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Christopher Rush
Yeah.
signed cards. These the ones that are signed with the paint. I'm not sure if that's printed or if that's really a signature.
No, that's signature.
Yeah.
Did you you never want to collect signed cards, huh? You didn't want to go to the shows and meet
You
the
know, I
artists?
had some, but I never had the time.
These
to
are
do it.
actually artist proofs.
Right. There's no back to them.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. So this is the exact name for this was artist proof cards,
Okay.
not artist signature. Yeah, that's fine.
So that was a concept for the
Artist
picture.
proof, yeah.
I forgot about that.
So the
They
artists
go
were
back.
given collateral for every card they made. They were given 50, approximately 50.
Huh.
So like the Black Lotus one recently sold for 50 grand.
Really?
Yeah, just there's not that many left.
These are they called counter cards. I guess you could.
Yeah.
Place to keep track. And then Vanguard cards.
Yep.
And then there's a bunch of these.
So this is the story. Remember you were saying it was story?
Yep.
Tano's and Urza's. Yeah, that's where your story. Remember?
And then the oversized cards.
The Lotus. It's probably $50. Maybe. Shivan.
These were all of the cards I liked.
The way you organized all this stuff, it's just a great, like, you put so much effort and time into it, it'd just be a shame to just sell it. It's just well preserved.
And then these collector sets, whatever these were.
These are championship edition sets.
Right.
We'll use these too to have artists draw stuff.
Right. And then these were like pre-packaged
Anthology
decks that you could play.
Yeah, we're going to go through these. These were just,
Same thing, beat down and battle royale. I guess if you didn't know how to put a deck together, you could get one of these.
So you really enjoy, like, archiving this stuff?
Yeah.
It was your thing?
It was my thing. It was like just putting it together. And then this last one is
No one does this, by the way, anymore.
I know.
This way.
Beat down. This was another one of these, but they had their own symbol.
Right. Yeah, I really think the decision, you guys have to decide, but this is a classic case. Is it worth selling, or is it better just to keep it as a preserved thing and that Dad brought to the family?
The old
So we'll
stuff
have to think
I'll
about that.
sell.
Yeah.
Right.
But the new stuff,
The new stuff,
seems like an encyclopedia, like I was telling you, like a
I don't know.
Britannica.
We'll have to decide.
Well, it's also taking up space.
Right.
Where is this going to go?
Yeah.
Where will it go?
I don't know. If it stays here, my wife won't be too happy about that.
She's more of a minimalist.
Yeah. I mean, if it was one or two binders, but
Do you have a magic room?
no. Maybe I should propose that.
I agree with the proposal.
Yeah.
I can help you with that negotiation process.
Okay, we'll have to.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. I'm excited to share more about our appraisal services. All right, so the first step of the appraisal process is determining if your items are authentic. After determining that the items are authentic, we will then do a market evaluation of your items. So oftentimes clients ask me, hey Dan, I want to insure my collectibles. Well, after the authenticity and evaluation part of the appraisal process, I would then construct an official letter and we would send that off to the insurance company. Your insurance provider would then offer you insurance based on the evaluations and authenticity. We also offer pre-grading services. So collectors who are looking to save money on grading can go through us. We will actually grade and authenticate the cards before you send it off to grading, and that will save you potentially thousands of dollars on grading fees. Also, we offer estate collection services. So basically, if you've acquired a collection over the years, either from a family member or yourself, and you want to pass it down to your kids, we're able to determine valuations based on the levels of today.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.